Welcome back. I know this isn't. It's gonna be a different video compared to the rest of ours. So we're doing like a mix of it, but due to like the current situations, a whole bunch of stuff we can't do. Busy.
We've been
schedules,
busy with school.
I'm tired all the fucking time too, so that's a different thing. But for this video, it's gonna be kind of like a sit and talk.
We're gonna call it coffee talks.
Coffee.
So we have our Dunkin
and talk.
Yes, we're gonna talk about some topics that we have opinions about.
Even though no one asked for our opinions, but we like to get,
fuck it,
I don't care. I'm gonna give my opinion anyways.
You wanna know what our order is? I'll let you know what my order is. It's a small iced latte with almond milk and sugar-free hazelnut.
At least mine did have whipped cream. I don't know if you can see it, but mine's a French vanilla caramel cream whipped cream iced coffee. This shit too sweet.
But he switches it up every time.
Yeah.
I basically always get the same thing.
Mind the way.
Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about for today is why relationships don't work out, or why we think relationships don't work out. Why relationships don't work out. So one thing that I think it is because like people have expectations like from since when you're little, you know, you think like, oh, the perfect boyfriend, perfect girlfriend's gonna have this and that. And then when you meet someone, you know, like maybe the first 2 weeks you're like, oh, they're perfect or whatever. But then after that, you know, not everyone's perfect and you find that out.
That's more of like a girl thing though, because at least for me or maybe for other dudes, like I don't think of it as like, oh, you know, she's a one, or she's my, not the Prince Charming, that's the dude. She's like, what's the saying for that? Is there a saying?
For the guys?
Yeah. I don't go into it thinking like, oh, you know, she's a one, I'm gonna stay with her the whole time, like this is a long-term relationship. Like, so I don't like, at least for guys, I never expected much. Like, at least with her, we've been together for 5 years, or almost 5. And I didn't go into it with any expectations. Like, I was like, fuck it, whatever happens, happens. But I guess with girls, they do expect us to be doing more, to provide, or expect us to be a certain way, like based off of the images in movies. And they go into it like that. They already have
standards.
Yeah.
Because I say this because I have like experience like with friends. I was never really like this that much, like to the extent of like expecting you to be like perfect, like some guy in the movie or something, like to look a certain way, to act a certain way.
I'm better than the guy in the movie, and I look better.
But I know based on like relationships that I've been around other people, and I've heard, you know, things that going on, like that's the biggest thing that I feel like tears or brings relationships down, or even like before it was even a relationship, it didn't work out because of these expectations that they have. And also, I guess another thing would be like compromise. So like say like you're now in a relationship, so you have these expectations where I expect you to treat me like this, or I expect you to do this and that, but like there's always has to be compromise, you know, like you're not always going to be able to do something for me. Or
yeah, because what I was gonna say, what makes like me happy could be something different than what makes her happy. And like I can't expect her to be doing everything that I wanted her to do.
They like mold to
you. Without any compromise. Like say if I want her to run 2 miles, but she doesn't want to run 2 miles, but she can hit 1.5 miles. Like that's a compromise. There has to be some compromise, and everything. Switch around. I don't have any more points on that, honestly. Another point would be lack of communication. Like I always told her from the start too, that we need to be able to talk to each other as like more than just friends. Like it has to be at a personal level, deep personal level, or else this isn't gonna work out. Because I like to communicate, like I express myself like physical, like more than physical touch, like emotional. I like to talk a lot, talk to other people about my feelings or whatever else.
Like actual meaningful conversations.
Yeah, and more than just like just vague or typical. Hey, how are you? Like that type of bullshit.
And I think that's something that I always struggled with when we first like started dating, like communication, because I was never, and I still struggle with this, but I was never someone to like open up and like express my emotions and like how I'm feeling, or like like how I'm feeling or what I'm thinking. I used to just keep everything to myself, and that's why I think it was kind of a struggle when we first started dating. That was like our main issue.
It was my main issue with her.
Yeah, well, it caused issues within me because I couldn't open up like completely. So yeah, I think that is important, because ever since I have gotten more comfortable with him, and he has helped me learn how to open up and how to express myself, even though I still struggle. But I think that like we're much better now.
Yeah, that's why I feel like our relationship is where it's at right now. That's why we've lasted so long. Or that's where, like we haven't had any like big problems, but I feel like that's also due to the communication. Whereas most relationships, like that's why they're very short term, because people don't want to talk. They don't express themselves. They don't tell their girlfriend, boyfriend how they feel.
They
so
just
I feel like that's what
they like hold it in, and then they get to that point, and then all of a sudden they break up. Like they never even talked about it. They never even like gave him a chance to fix it, which again goes into like the compromise and like fix it. But like to a certain extent, you can't necessarily expect them to like completely change for you, you know. So now we're gonna change from relationship
to fitness related, because that's what we're interested in. Fitness. We're in a relationship that worked out, but we're also gonna work out in the relationship. But this is like I don't know, switch of topics, but why? So this is, I say popular, which is like high intensity training. It's HIIT, high intensity interval training, versus LISS, low intensity steady state
cardio.
You see that thing?
Your hands are like in my face. Okay, so basically we're gonna talk about like what we think the benefits, negatives, and stuff like that are for each. Like, so we'll start with like HIIT. Okay. Yeah, the benefits, the main benefits that people argue are that like it's like not so time consuming, and you can do it in a shorter period of time, and like you get the same kind of like stimulant in your body, you know? Like
it's still working out. It raises your heart rate pretty quick, but then again, it's like, I don't know, it depends on like what you're actually looking for. So you said you were talking about the benefits, right? So it depends on what you're looking for. Like, of course, like what she said is shorter. Your heart rate reaches up to like its max potential at a shorter time, and it stays there throughout like the whole workout. So if you're looking for like a big rush, but if you're looking for like something hard, something that makes your heart beat throughout the whole workout, of course, like there's that. It also helps with cardio, like your cardiorespiratory fitness. Helps your endurance overall too, since you're always gonna be up there.
Yeah.
And
for muscular endurance and like the cardio. But what was I gonna say? Oh, I think it's also like mentally, like it makes you feel a certain way, like because it's so hard, it's challenging, it makes you feel so accomplished, I think, at the end. And like I think that also has a lot to do with it, why people like it.
And also the for benefits for like low intensity steady state cardio, it is more manageable, so your heart rate isn't always so elevated. You won't get fatigued so quick. You could last longer. Like say for HIIT training, it's only within like say a 30 to 45 minute.
Not even, more like 20 to 30 minutes. 20 to 30,
yeah, because that's a lot. 20 like 30 minute period versus low intensity steady state. You could go longer, which also depends on what you're looking for. It might help the older generation, people barely getting into like fitness, it might help that instead of going like right into high intensity.
So it helps you ease into like fitness in general because it's not so like demanding on the body, and also it makes you not hate so much or like dread what you're going to do, because you know obviously higher intensity workouts make you suffer. It's painful, you know, but like even though you feel great at the end, you know, like when you're going through it, it does hurt. And for a lot of people that like is a turn off to them going into fitness. And so I think lower intensity cardio is a good way to go if you're someone who already has trouble sticking to
that's it. Like a jumping off point. Like you start from there and then go like work your way into whatever else. Negatives for like, of course there's benefits and negatives, pros and cons for everything. I'd say a negative, I think is a negative for HIIT training. Your heart rate is too high. Cause like people, like that's how people faint. That's how you can also have strokes. Like say, I heard a story about like one dude who's like, oh, HIIT training is, or he saw it on the news. Oh, HIIT training is the new fad is trending. So let me try it. So the next day, like he wasn't doing any exercise beforehand. He was sedentary, and then the next day he decided, oh shit, let me go like hard as hell for this workout to whatever else. And then that same night he happened to have a stroke and he's like fucking paralyzed or some shit.
Yeah, I think I was there for exercise psychology.
And the thing is, for everyone it's not perfect. And the thing is, if you think that, oh, you know, within this short amount of time I'll reap its benefits, which some people might, but the thing is most of the population can't, because they aren't prepared for that. Their body's not prepared for what's gonna happen, especially since the heart rate's gonna go up so high. Blood pressure is gonna go, everything. That's the thing.
It's definitely not something for a beginner, because I feel like it is, for it to be as effective as it promises to be, I feel like you do have to go full out. And if you're just barely beginning, like the story, if you've been sedentary the whole time and then all of a sudden you go into it, it's not gonna be good for you, for your body, because you're not conditioned to it. You're not conditioned to like last or get your heart rate up that fast and for that long. And I also think a negative was, that it does cause a lot of stress on the body, which it's been shown like for females specifically, it like stress is kind of iffy, especially dealing with like hormones and stuff like that. And so it can really make you like, you could lose your period, you could get more get acne, you could do all this because you know the stress. Should I answer? No. I'll call her back. Because the stress does like affect your body in many different ways. Of course, it's different for everyone, but that's like the main thing that I think is like the negative about HIIT training.
Yeah. And then I say a negative for low intensity is that some people might take it too easy. Like, I understand that it's supposed to be low intensity, but most people won't push themselves. Like either way, no matter what, you have to push yourself. And when you're exercising, when you're working out, you still have to have some sort of progression. Yeah. And the thing is, I feel like a negative of that is that they won't push themselves to their actual, like to a limit to where
they'll get the benefits.
Yeah. Because they don't want to, they're like, oh, I heard high intensity is bad for me, so like I won't push myself up to a certain limit.
Yeah.
Oh, like I'm sweating too much. Oh, you know, my body's hurting. Like I'll just stop. Like I feel like that's a benefit, or my bad, a negative.
Trying to think of a negative for it.
Because there is no negative. I'm biased because I like.
Or I guess a negative about low intensity is that it does have to be done for a longer period of time.
If you don't have time, it's kind of hard.
But the thing is, you always have time. You always have time. Yeah. But it's mostly like people like doing it low intensity, but only for like a very short period of time, and you won't necessarily get as much benefits from it because it is low intensity. You are able to go longer, and the whole point of it is to like be able to go longer. Cardio, you know, endurance, be able to endure the
cardio,
the exercise for longer.
Yeah.
So I think that's a negative for that.
For our final opinion, I'd say at the beginning, or I don't know, I'd say now what my preference is low intensity, because I feel like I can sustain it longer, which is the whole point of it also. I can sustain it longer. It's easier on my body because I also had surgery on my knee. I messed up both of my ankles, I think. There's one or both of them. And the thing is, like, I can't, after a certain amount of doing HIIT training, like for a couple days, I start feeling it in my joints, but that's me. So that's why I prefer low intensity, because it's easier on my joints and I'm able to recover a little bit faster. But of course there's days where I would want to do something harder, so I might do maybe during the week, throw in a day or two of high intensity, but for the most part I prefer low intensity. And I think I've seen more results with low intensity because I'm able to
sustain it.
Yeah, and I'm actually able to do it more frequently without like being led astray by everything else.
Yeah, I actually switch off and on. I like them both, but I don't. For a while, I didn't do high intensity training because I did feel like it was causing a lot of stress on my body, and I wanted to like kind of calm down. But I do put it in like every once in a while if I feel like I'm just really feeling it, you know, and I feel like I have a lot of energy and I really want to put my energy into something, then I will do that. But I do like low intensity cardio because I also think it's like easier on my body, and I also feel like it does provide more benefits in a way because it doesn't like, you know, stress my body. So yeah.
Okay. So like that's it for Coffee Talk. That's it for the video. But if you guys would like I like doing videos like this. I feel like doing more. But if you guys want a topic for us to talk about, a certain topic, we can talk about it. It could be about love.
We can talk about it.
It could be about sex. It could be about our love sex. It could be like fitness, anything, but we'll give our opinion. But that's it.
Goodbye.